We're doing our first live podcast today, and we're in Blue Springs. We're at Vito's Original Pizza. Got a nice crowd. Give yourselves a hand. Got a nice big crowd in here today. And there's still plenty of time for you to come on out. We're going to be here, I'd say, at least till 1 o'clock.
Absolutely.
So, of course, Bill will be here till probably 4:30, ordering and reordering. But that's another story.
That's right.
Today, you may wonder, why'd you pick today? Well, I picked today for a certain reason. Because today it's Columbus Day. And I'm Italian. These guys are Italian.
Yes.
These guys are Italians. Penny's Italian. So I wanted to do this. It's kind of funny and it's kind of predictable, but President Trump signed a proclamation on Friday saying, outrageously in recent years, Christopher Columbus has been a prime target in a vicious, merciless campaign to erase our history. You know how he talks, right? So he says, Columbus Day, we're back, Italians. We love the Italians. So, you know how he does. So
I love this Italian.
We're back. So, no, really. Everybody's Italian today. So it's all good. We got some terrific special guests today. Before we get into that, as we do on all the podcasts, we do the hot topics, and by God, the Chiefs won a big game last night. Everybody went, yeah.
I tell you, the Chiefs reminded me of Blue Springs South Jaguars last night, the way they were playing.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it was kind of close for a while, but didn't it kind of felt like that Baltimore game. Like,
it did.
We got this.
Yep.
Especially, I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking when Harrison Butker kicked like a beer can. I don't know what the hell that was, but he was fine the rest of the time. Did you guys know there were no penalty flags last night? There was
First
one that
time
was
in
declined.
like 3 years ago, yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
They played a clean football game. Rasheed Rice comes back Sunday.
You're right.
He'll be back. He's been practicing with the team, so they got good energy. And the Raiders are in town.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Does that scare you?
It's going to be fun. No.
Okay, so we're in good shape. MLB playoffs are underway. No wild card teams this year. No wild card teams at all. All the division winners. And I guess while the Chiefs game was on last night, the Seattle Mariners hit 3 solo home runs and beat the Toronto Blue Jays in their ballpark.
I know it.
So they're up 1-0. The Dodgers and the Brewers. And you know, you might be thinking, well, the Dodgers are going to win that series hands down. You know, the Brewers beat them 6-0 this year in the regular season.
They did?
So they got their number. So we'll see about that. Another baseball story: the Savannah Bananas are coming back. Anybody seen the Savannah Bananas? Have you seen them?
They're unbelievable.
They're coming back.
They're cool though.
Yeah.
They're coming back, and they're going to play 2 nights at Kauffman Stadium, and that'll be the only 2 nights Kauffman will be sold out, right? unless we get in the playoffs. So they'll be back May 30th and 31st, and I think you can take it from here, brother.
Hey, man, I tell you what. Just retired from the Examiner after 43 years. I thought I had seen it all in high school football. You ain't seen nothing until you've seen these guys. It's Aiden Wilhelm, the quarterback of the Blue Springs South Jaguars, and this guy, wow, what a game Friday night. This coach Alan Wilmus, 4 years, he has resuscitated a team that was on life support. It's phenomenal what they're doing. The past 2 weeks, they have defeated the number 3 team in the state and the number 4 team in the state by a combined score of 76-10. They scored 42 points against the number 3 team, the Liberty Blue Jays, this past Friday, and brought in the reserves for the second half, came away with a 42-3 victory, and ate them 5 touchdown passes, a rushing touchdown. And I'd ask if you were just feeling it, but have you just been feeling it all season?
I've been feeling good all season. I got to give credit to my wide receivers. You know, they've been doing a great job. They're making plays all over the place, which is just great to have that this year. and then my O-line's blocking great. I mean, I have plenty of time back there. They're working their butts off and everything. Even my running backs are getting in on pass pro, and they're doing their jobs, and it just feels awesome.
Coach, what's the last 2 weeks been like, man, against tough competition? You're just getting it done.
Well, leading up before the Friday night, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? But we feel like we've been practicing really well and getting better as a team. But, during those Friday nights and after, it's a lot of fun, just seeing the guys fly around and execute and go out and compete and pretty much dominate two really good teams, with a lot of really good football players. So, and all three phases, I feel like, offense, defense, and special teams, we haven't been perfect, but we've been pretty darn good. And so hopefully we can keep that going and just keep getting better each day and each week and go 1-0.
You have that next man up mentality. And I don't know if that's ever been thrust into the spotlight like it was Friday night. Wyatt Denny, great wide receiver, made it on ESPN top 10 picks last week for a one-handed grab that greatest catch bar none I've ever seen. Cam Riley comes in and replaces him after he suffered a leg injury really early in the game. And Cam is walking off the field with Jaden Richburg, your outstanding, and he's going, the man. And Cam, I've never seen a bigger smile. I mean, how cool is it when that happens?
Oh, it's really awesome, especially for a kid he's a senior year. He's worked really hard. He hasn't been a starter the whole year, and has come in and spot played. And then just to keep working at it, a lot of kids will kind of give up, and he didn't. And he kept working, and then when he got his chance to shine, he took advantage of it. So, that's kind of a life lesson we try to tell kids. I think we had it last year with Parker Hunt week 1 against Liberty North, kind of the same thing where he came in, we had an injury, and he came in and did so well that he earned the spot that way. So super proud of Cam because I know, it's not always easy being the fifth receiver, on a really good team. So he came in and made an impact and, did a great job and helped us win the game. So super proud of that kid.
Aiden, I got to ask you something. You were on national TV. Yes, the coach is already laughing. But I saw it. Bill said thousands of people saw it. You were on with Matt Ryan.
I was.
And so you want to tell the story how it came about and then what ended up. Well, we know what happened, but
it came about.
How they come to you about?
I got
it?
a text from my head coach over here saying that CBS was doing a new segment where Matt Ryan faces a local high school kid in a throwing competition.
Which he wished he had.
And I've heard it's been canceled after you beat him.
I haven't seen it. I've been trying to watch it every week, but no. And then he brought it to my attention, and I talked with my parents, just making sure that it was okay and make sure it was something that I wanted to do, and I decided it. And then they just fine-tuned it and showed up on Sunday and had fun. Got to meet everybody and compete.
Late afternoon game, and you got there at 8:30?
Yeah, I got there about 8:45. That live went down at about 10. So it was.
Were you nervous?
I was a bit nervous. Yeah, but it's okay.
But when you smoked that first one.
Yeah. Once it started, I kind of calmed down. But before I was getting a little bit up, so I was nervous.
Coach, what was it like for you watching that?
Oh, it was awesome. I was nervous for him too. I know how talented he is, and he works really hard, and but you never know. Like you sail the first one, I'm like, oh boy, here it comes. But no, I hit it right on target, and then I think someone still owes you NIL money, right?
Yeah.
Was it
Kyle
Long, right? Kyle Long said $10 million or something. So might have to give him an email or a phone call.
You need somebody to go get that?
Might need to, right?
Me and my son Tom can go take care of that for you.
No, it was just awesome for him to experience it, and he represented our community and our school so well, so it was pretty cool.
It was great. Coach, I got to ask you, too, since we're on the subject of young players, you've coached a lot of guys that have played in the league. I mean, you coached an NFL linebacker for the Giants. You coached running back for the Broncos, wrestlers. You got one on your team now?
Yeah, we might have a few. It just depends on how they all, how it all evolves, right? It's a long road to the NFL.
There's some pressure here.
Yeah. It's a long road to the NFL, but we have some guys I really feel like they do things the right way, and if they have some luck and stay, healthy throughout their careers, they're dynamic enough to have a shot, and at that point, it's all you can ask for, and because if you're good, the NFL will find you. That's for sure.
Aiden, I want to ask you another thing too. I read, and correct me if I'm wrong. you've committed to Rice.
Yes.
That's in Houston.
That is in Houston,
Texas. What?
Yep.
What was the main attraction there? Because I'm sure Rice was not the only place that that wanted you to go there. Why that choice?
I would say that new coaching staff.
Okay.
They were a great fit to how I play and just what I kind of wanted from a school itself. And then coaching staff made it feel like home. The offense they run fits my skill set, and just saw myself that I could fit in it very well.
It just felt right.
Felt right, and loved it at the place too. Houston, Texas was really nice.
Great city.
Yeah, that place around it was awesome. So loved it there.
Is it nice to have that over before your senior year?
Yeah, I think it eliminates some stress.
Right, sure.
But I think the most important part is just playing the game and enjoying it step by step. So.
Well, and I've known some kids who have got that D1 scholarship, and I want to ask you about this too. But then they just, all I got to do is show up, man. I'm a D1 guy, and then they kind of fizzle out their senior year. I know this just making you work harder, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to just go step by step, like I said. Go 1-0 each game this week. I still got to finish out my high school career before I can even start my college career. Yeah. So I want to play hard every time that I get the chance.
Do you have, and again, I don't want to jump the gun here, 4 years down the road or 3 years down the road, do you have aspirations of playing in the NFL? And if so, regardless of that, what's your degree going to be in? Do you know what you want to study yet?
Yeah, I want to study engineering and architecture at Rice University. That is kind of what I'm leaning towards as of right now. And then I do want to at least try and play in the NFL.
And who says you can't do both?
Yeah, there you go.
Not at the same time, but
Scoring touchdown.
no, good for you, man. That's excellent.
Coach, how cool is it to have a leader like Aiden, both on the field and in the community?
Oh, it's awesome. We do this obviously because we're competitive, as coaches, and it's a way for us to stay around the game, but also just to kind of influence young men and to watch them grow. And I tell these guys, we won't really know if we're successful till 10, 15 years from now when we see you guys show back up and what kind of man you've turned into. So that's what we're kind of hoping. But it's just so much fun. This group this year with Aiden, we have a bunch of good leaders. He does a great job, but just a great group of kids. Going out to practice is a lot of fun, and that doesn't always happen every year. But
I know.
we have a great group of kids that enjoy each other and they enjoy our culture, and they have a lot of fun. Practice is just as fun as Friday night. So it's been a great time.
Coach, let's talk about what's next.
Yeah.
Friday night. Got a big one. Biggest one of the year, maybe? It's the rivalry game. So what's the feel right now?
Sure. Well, for us, and we're going to use coach talk like always, but really the biggest game for us every year is the next one, right?
Yeah.
So this is our next one.
Yeah.
So we treat it like any other game. That's how I've always coached rivalry games, is just because it's a different opponent. We just take care of ourselves. If we go out and do what we need to do and we execute, the game plan, we feel like we have a chance to be successful. They have a great team over there, great quarterback as well. Great defensive linemen, a lot of good players that run around. Number 12 is a really good player, the Staley kid. They've done a good job over there, and they're very competitive. So we got to come ready to go. We just got to stay with the process and win on Monday, win on Tuesday, win on Wednesday, win on Thursday. And then if we can do that, we feel like we can win on Friday. So the guys done a great job, and we expect to have another great week of practice.
But you have two high schools that, yes, they know which games are coming up, but what they do know, they circle this one. And so you've got student bodies, you got thousands of kids that are just, and so how do you or do you even temper it? How do you keep it from getting like what happened at the end of the game last night?
Oh, yeah. So kind of what we do is we tell them to ignore the noise, right? There's noise everywhere, right?
I got you.
That the group that really matters is the group that's right there, the players, the coaches, and to ignore the noise, because there's going to be noise. There's going to be media, there's going to be students, there's going to be people in the community, there's going to be people out of the community on social media, whatever. And, what we got to do is just kind of focus on our process and trust it, and our kids have done a great job with that, especially with our fourth year. They don't know any different, and they even, you hear them when they do interviews, they talk the same way we do about it. So
exactly.
Which knows that it's, it's in the right spot. So super happy with the first 7 weeks, but this is another great challenge for us, and we're excited about it. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We've got two great teams, probably the best football community in the Midwest, so we're looking forward to having fun and going out and competing for sure.
Well, you talk about media. I get home from South games and my wife says, "What's taking you so long?" Well, this guy does about an hour and a half of interviews after each game, and I have to wait. Are you getting more and more comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think it's I'm getting more and more comfortable like it. Just like this, practice makes perfect and makes improvements, and having fun with everyone is important to me as well.
Alan, I was going through some pictures on my phone the other day, taking some things out, and I have a picture of this guy with two other members of the team. You were up at Leeson High School, and I said, who do you think is going to be your quarterback? I'll just take a picture of these three guys, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, that little redhead kid doesn't have a chance. How cool is it to watch him grow into one of the premier quarterbacks in the entire Midwest, but also, and I've mentioned it before, what a tremendous representative he is.
It's been awesome, He was a super talented kid when I first got here his freshman year. We knew his group was special, so we made sure we kind of built the program around them. And his sophomore year, he had to compete against two other good athletes, and he just was a guy that just kept getting better. He wasn't the guy in the beginning that we're like, oh, he's definitely the guy, but every week through the summer and as we got closer to August, he started kind of rising above the other ones, and he just is one of our hardest workers, if not the hardest worker, and just loves the game and really connects with our quarterback coach and our OC, and that kind of what led him to being the guy. And then, as he knows, what he is right now, which is a great football player, it didn't happen overnight. We had a lot of adversity that first year, starting like 14 or 15 sophomores, and we were in a lot of close games, but couldn't win them all or couldn't win very many. But we saw it was there, and this guy kept getting better and better. And I know probably for him, he probably didn't see it at the time, but we saw something special happening because it was pretty hard on him. I know that because he doesn't like to lose, But he just kept working, and what he learned was success isn't final, and failure is never fatal. So, and that's kind of what happened with that, and he's just improved, and he also helps make teammates around him better too, which is what a true leader does. So, he's traveling around with the young quarterbacks, making sure they're where they need to be, and so the guy after he's gone is ready to go. So he does a great job. He's a very selfless football player and a big part of our program. So I'm very privileged to be his coach.
You look at this past Friday night, 11 of 13, 273 yards of passing, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. And fans see that. They know what you do on the field. You did something earlier this season that put you on my Mount Rushmore. In high school sports, the officials don't want you to have fun. I hate it. I call the NFL the no fun league because anybody does something crazy or fun. He scored a touchdown in a big game and spiked the ball and got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. After the game, Coach Wilmus and his staff are talking to the players, and Aiden asked if he could have a moment to speak to the team, and he apologized to his team for doing that. And I thought, wow, that's what leaders are. Do you feel comfortable as a leader?
Yeah, I do feel comfortable. Those are my brothers there. It's just like talking to almost like a sibling, They feel just like it. I was able to talk with pure love and pure confidence, and I just wanted to apologize for what happened and said it won't happen again, and I got their backs if they need me.
Coach, let me ask you about that because, you hear Andy say, well, I want you to play with emotion. I want you to play, but, they can do the Watusi or whatever after
the Watusi.
So in the end zone. But how do you control emotion without letting it get over the line for high school?
Well, we always have those conversations with them throughout the week and even before the game and even on the sideline during the game. And we know nobody's perfect, right? And that'll happen, I don't even know how many my son's had this year too, and he has a play. But, Aiden was kind of took a late hit a few plays before that, and I could tell he was a little fired up. He was about as red as his hair was, and whenever he got in the end zone, I saw it happen. I said, oh boy, here it comes. And he did it, and I was like, all right, well, we got that out of our system, and And we just talked to him afterwards. He understood it, you know, and just a good learning lesson for him, you know, that especially being the player he is, and people are going to go after you, you know, and they're going to hit you late, and they're going to try and play dirty, and got to keep our emotions in check, you know. And even as a coach, like, I'm not perfect, you know, I get penalties too. So we just make sure they understand that it is okay, but it's only okay if we learn from it, you know, and become better from it. So he did a great job of that. You know, nobody told him to apologize. He did it himself, and you know, I think it just enhanced him more as a leader and kind of put him on Bill's, you know, Mount Rushmore. You know, so it's a pretty cool place to be, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Coach, 4 years ago, you took over a program that was really struggling. I was there at Blue Spring South when you were introduced to the team. You put together a video. When I watched that, I checked my eligibility. Unfortunately, I don't have any. The kids were high-fiving. They're jumping up and down in the auditorium. I mean, it was phenomenal. And we had a nice conversation after that, and you said, you know, it's a process. It's going to take a while. Has this team exceeded your expectations, or is this what you wanted from day one? What did it take to get it?
You know, this has been the plan, you know, is to kind of build it this way. We kind of like how we did, you know, the first year or two, we put a lot of our good players on offense, you know, and just try to outscore everybody and get excitement back into Blue Spring South football. And I felt like we did that. And then, you know, as it evolved, we kind of evened it out with offense and defense, and that's kind of where we're at. We have a pretty dominating offense right now and a dominating defense. So that was kind of the goal, but also to build it from the ground up. We're very involved with our freshmen and our middle schools. You know, I know he probably remembers, like, when about the same time I did that meeting, I went down to Delta Woods because I knew they had a bunch of studs down there and saw some video on their games from the fall, and I got to get down there and make sure these kids stay in this program, and went down there and kind of gave them the same hoorah, and they all stayed. So did something right, I guess. But no, it's been a process, but it's been a fun process too. We've even learned from it, and I'm very blessed. I have probably the best assistant coaches around. You know, no man can do it by themselves, and without them, there's no way we'd be there where we are today. So, you know, we're very, very blessed.
What's this like for you this week leading up to the game against Blue Springs? I mean, how do you focus on anything else except preparation of the game?
I try to focus just
like
on the
you
game,
say,
and
one game at a time.
Yeah, one game at a time.
Yeah.
And I mean, coaches do a great job at explaining it to us that this is the biggest game, this next one, and it's just another opponent. But it is the Cat Clash, and there's a lot of hype around it throughout the schools and the community. So I think it's you just kind of gotta keep your head down and keep going forward towards Friday.
Well, you have the demeanor. I mean, just from sitting here talking to you, I mean, he's more nervous doing this than you are. So, you know,
I was nervous when these two icons here.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, we could see it. We could definitely see it. Coach, I just want to mention too.
Yeah.
I didn't want to overlook this. A couple of weeks ago, after you won the Lee Summit North game, you were the Chiefs Coach of the Week. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach of the Week, and part of that recognition, they give you a $500 grant from the Hunt Family Foundation. You got your bucket hat. You got your certificate of recognition, and you are also nominated for the Eric Driscoll Coach of the Year Award. So congratulations to you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without the players and coaches and
Amen, brother.
community and, you know, the administration of Blue Spring South. So we're very supportive. Very supportive.
Thank you for coming,
good luck.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
Go up and get
Good luck.
and get something to eat.
Good luck,
Tell them it's on.
Bill.
Thank
It's the first name on the show.
Go up with your
up to him.
credit card. Make sure that this happens. Alan, I know.
Thank you, sir.
Much it
Coach,
takes you to do this.
Good luck, Tony.
Thanks,
We'll
man.
see you guys.
Thank you so
Aiden,
much.
keep it up, brother.
I wish I'd
guys.
see you Friday, but I'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
You guys
Coach
have-
Wilmus and Aiden from Blue Spring South. I want to remind you again, we're at Vito's Pizza, Vito's Original Pizza. We are on 7 Highway. We're going to be here for a while still. We have some more guests coming up on the show. Come on up, get pizza. The food is great. We got a nice crowd here. 7 Highway in Blue Springs, just off of 7 and Main. And Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. And I do want to make a plug for next week's show. We have a guest. Stop laughing. because he will hurt you.
I know. Wow.
No, we have a couple more guests coming in right now to talk about the big game. But on next week's show, we have one of the most notorious criminals in the history of Kansas City, Missouri. Before he was 21 years old, he spent over 2,000 hours in handcuffs, waist shackles, and leg chains. Then something happened. No, he wasn't killed. Close. And he is now runs one of the biggest prison ministries in the United States of America. His name is Bill Corum. If you're wondering why this wasn't a movie yet, you'll find out because we're going to ask him. He does have a book. The book is called The Ultimate Pardon by Bill Corum. And if you're wondering, well, if he was that notorious, how come he didn't get a life? He did, and got out of it. And that part of the story
Right here, baby.
is amazing. So that will be on next week's show. Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure will be our guest, Bill Corum. So it looks like we got a couple. I think I know this guy.
Yeah.
I think he sat on this side last time. You want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Tim Crone, the man, the myth, the former activities director and head football and assistant football coach at Blue Springs High School, now does a great job on Friday nights doing color commentary when this Hall of Famer right here. Well, this Hall of Famer right here, too.
Before you get started, we got to get into that because we've gone 25 minutes and I have not mentioned this, you guys. If you didn't know, each year there are inductees into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. We're not talking about Bait City Hall of Fame. We're talking about the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. And we have found out this week, just in the last couple of days, that 2 new members are actually sitting to my right. So Bill is going into the Missouri Hall of Fame. Tim is going into the Missouri Hall of Fame. And this guy on the end is in the Country Radio Hall of Fame. And you got a wannabe over here. But that's all good. It's all good. So congratulations to you two, Dale.
Thank you.
Actually, Dale was the youngest member of the Country Radio Hall of Fame. So
Pretty cool.
There we go.
Pretty cool, man.
So some really influential and neat guys here.
You know, it was so cool the other night. Buddy Young couldn't broadcast a Blue Springs South football game, so Tim was in the booth with us. And I know you bleed purple and gold, but what about this South football team?
Well, I told Coach I didn't want to put any pressure on him. Now I'm going to put all the pressure in the world on him. I think that they're the best football team in this area.
Yeah.
And depending how the recruiting went in CBC and DeSmit and St. Louis, I think they have a shot to win the state championship. And I think they know that too. And I tell you what, that's the first time I met that young man that's the quarterback. His mom was a stallionette. She was a great athlete. You remember her, Bill, because we've been around since Moses was a monk. And she was great, but that's where that kid gets a lot of his ability and his quickness. But he's just as nice as his mom was.
Yes.
Very good person. And
Well,
they got a
I don't
shot.
want to interrupt you, but his dad was the first superstar high school athlete I covered. Brent Wilhelm led Fort Osage High School
right.
to its first championship in the history of the school with the baseball team. Because of his dad and a young man named Bill Overbeck, they had to put this monster screen up in left field because the guy who lived out there complained that he couldn't do anything because he was so afraid about the balls hitting off his roof. One went through a window, so his dad knew a thing or two about sports too.
Well, they come from a family of winners.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bill, I got to ask you. So you call the games for both Blue Springs and Blue Springs
Right.
South, right? And your delivery is like nobody's when you're calling for whichever home team you're calling for or road team you're calling for. So what about this week?
Yeah.
How do you guys? Tim, I know you're Mr. Blue Springs, and he's he was a councilman in Blue Springs, but
He's a politician.
yeah, I know he is. But I've worked with him for half of our lives. But how do you? Is it just energy for both.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be Switzerland in that game.
Yeah.
I'm just for whichever team wins from Blue Springs.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I get it. Yeah. So, but you can't be like, intercepted. It's like.
Well, and I'll tell you, the last couple of games that we've done for South, they've just been blowouts.
Yeah, you haven't had close games.
They had 4 games in a row where they only gave up 7 points per game, and they only gave up 3 to Liberty. So they are playing lights out defense, and they've got an incredible offense.
Yeah.
But just in the season that Blue Springs has had so far, and I point to their comeback win over Rockhurst in overtime.
Yeah.
They don't quit. Even in the game where the kid threw 7 interceptions, they didn't quit, and they were this close to winning the game despite having 7 interceptions in the game. They don't quit. So I think it's going to be a great game.
Tim, so in your opinion, you're around that program. Dale says they don't quit. So is this going to be close? Can it be close?
Well, I'll tell you what's good about it, and I'll help the politician to my right here. What's really good about it is, and I want to sound like the old guy, but for 25 years, if you were around here, the atmosphere when Blue Springs and Blue Springs South play was totally amazing.
Yeah.
And the entire town came. And now we're getting back to that. And I talked to Coach just now, and I said, what I'm most pleased with being an old man is seeing the ability of the schools coming together to be powerhouses again. So can Blue Springs win? I would say that definitely Blue Springs South is probably a large favorite. But I tell you what, if Blue Springs doesn't have the turnovers, which is what's hurt them in their 2 losses, they have a shot to stay in the ball game. And when you have a shot to stay in the ball game, you can win.
Anything can happen at the end in the fourth quarter.
I think you agree with that.
I would agree with that, and I would say that, I had a break between doing the high school games. I did them for 10 years with you and Buddy, and then I took a 10-year break, and now I'm back. And in the 10 years that I did those games, it seemed like every year one of the 2 teams was going to the state championship. And then the programs, went the other way, and now they're coming back, and those 2 coaches have done a great job in rebuilding those programs. And when I look at a team like South that's ranked 2nd in the state, and then I look, well, who's number 1? Well, of course, it's CBC.
Of course.
And then you look at the games they've played, I don't recognize any of the teams they've played, and they've blown them out. So there's a bias for St. Louis, and I'll remember that first state championship game we did with Blue Springs South and CBC, where they had the big tailgate parties, and they were going to wipe the field with us, and I believe it was a blowout. Was it not, Bill?
Yeah, it was a blowout, yes.
Yeah, so I'm really thinking that Western Missouri football is back. Specifically, Blue Springs is back, and I'm excited about where we're headed Friday night.
Well, and look at the last couple of weeks. You had number 3, Liberty.
Right.
You had number 4, was it
Summit North.
North?
Yeah.
North. Those games weren't close.
Not even close. Well, it was a running clock last Friday night.
Yeah.
Everything happened basically in the first quarter. It was over after that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Tim, you and I go back so many years, and I'll never forget.
You're looking old, too.
I know, buddy. I'm feeling old. When they had the old wooden press box.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Springs South was playing.
They have leather helmets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And the fans, I had picked, we used to have a thing at the Examiner called Pigskin Picks.
We both did it.
Yeah.
We both did it together.
And we picked Blue Springs to win that game, and Blue Springs South came away with the win, and the fans were turning around and banging on the press box. And I remember you asking me if I wanted police protection before I went on the field. I almost said yes.
Hell, I didn't think we were going to get out of it.
I know it. I'm not live. Yeah.
You're right, and they were literally beating on the windows.
Yep.
They were like caged animals.
Yep. No, that was.
I tried to forget those kind of things.
Oh, but that shows the intensity. And now it's a tremendously intense game, but it's not that nasty intensity like the early days of Green Valley and Oak Grove.
No, I talked to Larry Walton, one of the old assistant coaches from Blue Springs at the golf course the other day.
Yeah.
He pulled in and he says, well, same feeling I had. Well, we're back. Both teams are back. It's going to be like the old days. I said, no, Larry, we hated each other. I said, we couldn't stand each other, and we'd burn down your school if we had a chance to. And he laughed and goes, you know, Coach, you're right. And that's the way it was.
Well, you guys would know this. I mean, you're around it. I didn't want to put Coach on the spot, but what kind? Is it a bitter rivalry or is it a friendly rival? I mean, how is this?
Dale's been around.
I mean, will we need extra security Friday
I've never
night?
understood that either, because, and you would know this, Tim, more than I, because it happened before I moved here. But my kids went to the freshman center. The freshman center doesn't exist anymore because both campuses have expanded to where they have freshmen on campus. But my kids went to the freshman center, and those kids hated each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there were fights all the time. My kid got in a fight with somebody from South. I mean, it was all the time. But that school grew out of Blue Springs.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, they're the same kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are like cousins, right? They're in the same town.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I've lived through it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, like, when we're doing the game at South, it'll be at Blue Springs this time. It'll be like, this is our house, and then the Blue Springs people will say, but it's our town.
Yeah.
And then they're back and forth like that.
I tell you what, when we had one field, and that was the AD, too.
Oh, I remember that too.
That was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, it really was. Bill tell
It
you
was grass.
what we had to do every other year. You were the home team. When we're Blue Springs, that's our home field. Oh my God! It wasn't just the Blue Springs South people; it was the Blue Springs people up my tail about why do we have to go to the other side of the field? And I tried to explain to him because we were the visitors. Well, no, we're not the visitors. This is our school.
Boy. Yeah.
So I lived that, and I'm telling you, I had more foul phone calls than you could ever imagine. And so you asked me why there was such a terrible rivalry. There was a lot of reasons why.
Yeah.
Now, you ask me now, I don't see it. I see it as a congenial.
Okay, well,
Mutual respect.
Well, I love the old days, but I really respect what Coach has done.
Yeah.
I mean, he is one heck of a coach, but you understand it's just a different place and time. you know.
Well, the facilities are even.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
South is a beautiful facility
Yeah.
that's grown in all
Yeah.
leaps and bounds, and Blue Springs facility has changed too. Because you remember when you were sharing that field, you also had the Golden Regiment on it all the time.
That Band-Aid, that really helped. We
and,
didn't have artificial turf. That's
exactly.
another buddy I took on that deal.
By October, November, I mean, it was like a mud bowl.
It was
Yeah.
a mud bowl. It was the worst
Yeah.
place in the world to play.
Yeah, but now it's awesome facilities. I remember the first year I did it was before we had the new press box, and it was that old press box.
Yeah, Mom
And-
used to make cookies and everybody.
Oh my gosh! It looked like a trailer on stilts.
It did?
I didn't
Yeah,
feel
it is.
safe up there. Wow! And then when that
I
place got
didn't really.
shaken, it was like, oh
Yeah.
It would actually shake. It would actually shake.
totally. One game you missed, you were like down in Mexico or something,
Getting out of jail.
and it snowed. And we had this like hatch that was like right behind where we broadcast from, and the coaches would be up on the roof on that thing, really taking their lives in their hands. And I look over, and it's snowing through the hatch into the press box.
The good old days.
You're glad
Those days are gone.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, Tim, this is the fourth year that Jed Paulson has been the head coach at Blue Springs. The fourth year that Allen has been the head coach at Blue Springs.
Both
now.
of them.
I mean, they took over programs that were on life support.
Well, they did, and they've done a wonderful job, and I would like to say for both schools.
Yes.
Now I'm going to be a politician. For both schools, they're doing it the right way. Kids when you're in a program, you got to believe in the program. I think the greatest word in the English language is team. And they both really are examples of that. You do it, and you do it this way, and if you don't do it this way, you're not going to play here. Now, that's old school, but you saw last night in the Chiefs game when the safety comes up and, Chiefs shots, and I really like what Campbell said, the coach for the Detroit Lions. He said, hey, look, that's not what we're about. I don't tolerate that. He's a good guy. That's what you got to do.
That's right.
And that's what they're both doing.
That's right. Well, I got that impression from, not only from Hayden, but I got that impression from Coach Wilmus that, we're relaxed, but we're also disciplined.
No, they are.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Well, and both these guys are the right coach with the right team at the right time.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think it's so cool it happened together.
Yeah, I do too, because they're great guys.
Yeah. Easy.
They're real.
Easy to cheer for. Absolutely.
Yeah, both teams
Absolutely.
are good. They're definitely for real.
Any predictions?
Yeah, I want Blue
Yeah, see, he's laughing because he knew that was coming.
A team from Blue Springs will win the game.
Hey,
Good answer.
I'm not running for mayor. I want Blue Springs to win. Man to my right's going to be district whatever, executive or whatever he's doing. I'll be his campaign manager.
Let me
but
put it
I'm not
this way.
going to listen to that.
When I was in Indiana before I came here, right, I did high school football on the radio there. In Evansville, Indiana, which is my hometown, there are 7 city schools and then 1 in the county that makes up 8 for the conference. And I did 14 years of high school football, game of the week, with all of those schools, and never did a state championship game.
Oh, wow.
Never, not one.
Wow.
We got close a couple of times, but never did one state championship game. I did 10 years of Blue Springs South, and was in St. Louis for a state championship game 7 times. And we won most of them.
Not to mention all the AFC championship games.
Well, yeah, there's that. But,
Right.
either one of these schools
Yeah.
can take it all the way
Yeah.
over to wherever we're playing state championship games.
Yep.
Hopefully not that dump in St. Louis
Louis.
anymore.
That-
No, that's gone.
Is that thing still open?
I don't know.
I tell you what,
Terrible
it's
place to
impossible
play.
to see, wasn't it?
It was just terrible. I would say that on the air that we're back at the dump in St. Louis, and I'll never forget. Edward Jones was one of our
Yeah.
sponsors one year, and Tony Reisinger had to remind me that we can't call it a dump anymore because they're one of our sponsors. But that place was and is a dump.
Oh, yeah.
I once was up doing my story in the press box. I'm trying to leave and every door is locked. I walked up there.
That might be safer in that neighborhood.
No cops, no ushers, no usherette. I mean, it was nuts. And finally, somebody came out of an office. I don't even know. Maybe he was stealing something, but he said there's one door that's open, and he took me down to it. And I mean, here I am in this enormous dome stadium.
Yeah.
I'm having a claustrophobic attack. I'm like, I'm never going to get home again. So.
Well, one other thing about that place, means we're cutting that place up, is that they don't feed you.
No,
okay,
no food.
we've all done it. No
You guys
food.
bringing in chips and
No
candy?
food. No, even when we were in the little tiny press box where both schools played, my mom would, and us the guys, we feasted. Okay, and every ball game was like you were in a delicatessen eating.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody took food home. You go down to St. Louis and you could starve to death. I mean, it was horrible. Okay, I'll get off of them.
Well, I'll put in a kudos to both press boxes. I mean, over at South, they
Oh, yeah.
usually have the chicken fingers and stuff like that. And then, my gosh, Tacos for Life has taken over the press box at Blue Springs. These guys hosted the press box for 20 plus years. So.
Small Sliders was out there last week. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No,
That's why I can't go to Slim for Life for a month because I was into the box.
I can't go for a month. Good excuse.
Guys, thank you.
Yeah,
Really
man.
appreciate you
bet.
being
It's
here. I
always
know
fun
you're
with
doing
you. You know that.
really the best. I will see you. Well, no, I won't see you Friday night.
You're not going to be at the game?
No, I'm recovering from surgery.
I thought that was
so.
your tradition. You were always at that game.
Well, they may bring me on a gurney. I'm going to go in like Hannibal Lecter and.
Hey, good luck on your surgery.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate it. No, I'll be listening though.
Yeah.
We'll be listening.
We say something foul about you.
Dude, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Rip
I
me
think
a
for
new
two,
one.
Tony's going to be there in Bill's play. He's going to
Yeah, there we go.
and get some stuff.
We gotta mention. Anything
this guy
that you
does.
see on this show is made better because of Tony Restivo.
Oh, the
What
guy's
he has
amazing.
done for this
Yeah.
program, unreal. So
We're
thank
just
you.
two dummies that just come out here and talk. Yeah, he does a great job. And he wants to come down. He's going to come down to the game.
Sure.
He'll be there.
That'd be great. Come up to press box and eat, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you
You're
about
invited.
that.
Somebody say, hey, Crone said I could eat it. Okay.
Bill Carter,
guys.
David Brown, thank you guys.
Take
Appreciate
care.
you very much. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Good job.
Got another little special guest that's
Let's
going to
mention where
join.
we are. You still have time? Do you want to come out? We're at Vito's Original Pizza on 7 Highway in Blue Springs. They have the best pizza. All right. Just
The best everything.
Best everything. We're going to be here for a little while longer, but come on out. We're going to be hanging out for a while. So Vito's Pizza on 7 Highway in Blue Springs, and we'll probably be coming out here.
I'm hoping once a month.
Yeah, we'll be making this. Excuse me, making this a regular event. You want to introduce our next guest? There, mister?
Absolutely. Past 18 years, this has been my partner in crime. We have a weekly radio show. It's called the Sonic Locker Room. We've been doing it for 18 years. What did we start with? Four schools, 6 schools?
Eight schools.
To 18.
500 shows later.
8,500 shows. That blows me away.
Golly.
And it's been so much fun. We'll have coaches or players, and now we're talking to their children on the show who are now outstanding athletes. And Tony has been a big part of my life. He did a great campaign for me to get into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, which I'll really appreciate. But how many years have you been doing Blue Springs and Blue Springs South football?
I've been there 27. Brian's done it for 29.
Okay. Did you ever dream it would be what it is now?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's good.
Two of the best teams. They won't be down there.
It's the perfect storm.
Yes.
From 2001 till 2015, Blue Springs and Blue Springs South, it was the place to be. It was.
And you
Michigan and Ohio State.
Yes, exactly. But tell them that Eastern Jackson County overall has really grown into not only a big community, because you live, Green Valley and all the other municipalities, but the schools and the programs have also grown too. You go Fort Osage, playing in that with Skylar Thompson several years ago. But all this area has really grown for high school sports overall.
Yeah. Well, with high school football, what people, unless you go there, you don't realize.
Yeah.
High school football is the biggest passion in a community.
It is.
Here in Blue Springs, same in Green Valley, but here in Blue Springs, you'll have the Fall Fun Fest every year where people will gather. But on a Friday night, there's 5,000 people at Blue Springs, 5,000 people at Blue Springs South.
That's great.
and that's one of the things with what we do is it's a perfect storm for us because we have great sponsors that get it. And they understand that grandparents listen to it. I grew up in Lexington, Missouri, and we had a radio station there, KLEX. And when I was 8 years old, our Little League baseball games were on the radio. Think about it.
That's great.
Okay, think about it. They were on the radio. Gott's Lumber Company versus Western Auto. Okay? And you would have on there that, someone would throw a no-hitter, but they'd walk 16, but they still threw a no-hitter.
Right.
Now, I was wondering, why is it that those games were on the radio? It's simple. Because Harold's Thriftway and Walker's Drugs,
that's right.
They wanted Grandma and Grandpa to know that those games are being made possible by them. And they run their commercials, and it's just, and that's what we have here. And we sell everything. Everything's sponsored. First quarter, second quarter, time and temp and everything, and all that. And, with my, time with the Royals Radio Network for 12 years, and this, you got to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, then you're doing the wrong thing. Yeah. And working with this guy is a great thing. Every Monday morning, every Wednesday morning. Yep. When we have 2-3 weeks off, it's like we miss each other.
I know, yeah.
And now we're doing it.
And now absolutely. Same thing.
Yeah. But it really is. It's high school football, and it's community. And as you met with Coach Wilmus, same thing over at Blue Springs with Jed Paulson. Okay, the passion that they and they set the tone, not just for the football team, but really for the whole school. Okay, because the biggest thing each week at a high school is the high school football game.
Sure,
that's the biggest thing, and it's just a great passion. And you've been doing it for 43 years at the Examiner, and before that at the Kansas City, Kansas. So you've seen it, and you think about a Sonic Locker Room, 8,500 shows. You've probably interviewed over 20,000 different people. And the beautiful thing with this show is a lot of times, we used to, now we got some of them scheduled we know who's going to be on, but it used to be that we called the school up and they would tell Bill who we're going to have on. Yeah. And so he would have 3 minutes to figure out, to prep, and to do an extemporaneous interview. Yeah. And he's just the best at it. And I tell people that he makes these kids feel like $1 million. Yeah. He truly does.
And there was a young lady at Raytown South last year that was nervous coming on with him, and then she did a great job. Later that day, she went for a job interview, and she came back, and she could be more excited to tell her teacher, hey, I got the job, and I think I got it because I was on that Sonic Locker Room show.
That story, Bill. Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's a great start. But what I hear from both of you guys talking about this, going back to even the no-hitter, and it's all about community.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And if you have all of these sponsors that believe in not only high school football, they believe in the community. And that's how you grow community.
Yeah, and you're in radio for so long.
Yeah.
You know what?
40 years.
Yeah, you know what? Your listeners
Yeah.
are your family.
They are.
But guess what?
They are.
To them, you're an important part of their lives.
And
their family.
And that sticks with you.
Yeah.
It does, and it's important. And I mean, the other night, I play in a band too. I've done that my whole life. And a girl came up to me and she says, I listened to you for over 20 years. She said, I had no idea you did this. I said, well, yeah. She says, oh my God, I used to come see you at your remotes, and it's like she was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. You leave an impression on people.
You definitely do. You know what? You only have one time to make a first impression.
Yeah.
We need to get these boys on.
Yes, they won't come.
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
Are they going to come? Are they going to come here?
Well, let me see.
Okay, so we've been at Tony
Appreciate it.
Reisinger. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Go tell Vito and Onofrio to get up here. Tell Diane. Tell anybody back there to come up and join us.
Before we wrap up, we've been at Vito's Original Pizza in Blue Springs on 7 Highway, and we hope to do this as a regular occurrence, maybe, hopefully once a month. I mean, Vito wants us up here every day. So.
Well, I am up here every day.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Just no cameras or videos.
Yeah. The next show, I want to mention this next show again, and we're going to have on, I'll say it the way I said it before, one of the most notorious criminals in the history of Kansas City. This guy did dirty work that mob hitmen would not do. This is true. He spent over 2,500 hours in handcuffs, waist shackles, and leg chains before he was 21. For his 21st birthday. And he grew up right around here in Raytown. And he was the biggest cocaine dealer in the state of Missouri. And now, something happened to him. You're probably wondering, how didn't he get like a life sentence or something like that? Well, he did. He got 30 years to life. And within 2 days, he was out.
Come on in, sir.
The way that how he did that, you gotta watch the podcast because it's an amazing story. The guy's name is Bill Coram, and he now runs something called Power of Prison Ministries. And he's been to over 500 jails and prisons around the United States. He's 81 years old now, but he'll whoop your ass if you look at him crooked. But actually, he won't because he's a kind man now.
This guy might, though.
No.
Come on now.
Hey, this guy is the reason we're here today.
All right, so you've known Onofrio a long time. Once you introduce him.
Vito and Onofrio, Original Pizza, right here, 7 Highway. This is my second time. 20 plus years.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, how long, Onofrio, how long have you been at this?
Actually, he opened up in 1978. This here has been about 22 years here.
And I'll tell you, I don't know about you guys, but to me, first time I came, I saw the pizza. Again, I'm originally from New Jersey, from New York. And I saw that, and I thought, that's it.
Well,
and then when I ate it, I don't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's my preference.
Well, and every time I come in here, you greet everybody that comes through the door.
I love all my customers.
Yeah. I mean, what's it like not only having a restaurant and the best pizza, the best gyros in town, but to have a family? I mean,
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Blue Springs is great.
Yeah.
They support us well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good community. So what's it, I got to ask you, I mean, I know your dad too, but what's it like to work with your old man?
It's great.
Vito's
He's the best, man.
He is.
He really is.
All right, so I got to ask you this too. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
I like a slice of cheese.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's the best.
Good for you.
That's New York style there.
Oh yeah, man. It is.
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
The best salad in
Yeah.
Eastern Jackson
Salad
County and beyond.
Oh yeah.
Come here, you order the Greek salad
Yeah.
With the gyro
with
meat.
gyro meat, and they put that balsamic vinegar over, and then they give you the tzatziki with it. It's the absolute best.
Well, and I never dreamed I'd go to an Italian restaurant and the best gyro. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're from Sicily. It's Mediterranean.
Okay.
Greece ain't too far away from us.
Okay.
So we got Sicilianas over there.
I gotta have other
got one
things,
here.
you know.
We got one here.
Thanks for letting us. I mean, how much fun has this been?
Great. You can come in every day if you want.
See, I told you guys. See,
If he could leave his equipment here, we'd do that.
Set it right there overnight.
The way this restaurant has become such an important part of the community. The way you guys, so charitable. There's no event that goes on that you don't have your fingerprints on it.
I try.
Well,
Yeah, we try.
where's that come? I know it comes from Dad.
Oh yeah. It's also, we've been here 20 plus years.
Sure.
And everybody knows us, and we've been dealing with the schools forever.
Right.
So I've seen kids come and go. I mean, they come in and they bring in their kids, after 20 plus years,
Tell us about Pizza Day at Fort Osage High School. When you guys come in, 3 a.m.?
No, we don't come in that early anymore. We don't come in that early anymore.
Really?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
yeah, but Bill's outside the door at 4 a.m.
I'm waiting. Come on, guys, open up.
We're getting older, so we like to sleep in.
Good. I was always worried about Vito getting up before,
No, he still gets up early. He
I
can't
bet.
sleep.
Yeah, I bet.
You guys, if you haven't been here, you're watching live. Vito's Original Pizza, 7 Highway, just off 7 in Maine. You will not be disappointed, and you will be back. That's all I can tell you.
And ask for Vito or Onofrio, and they'll treat you like family and feed you the best lunch or dinner you've ever had.
And thank you, Blue Springs.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned family, and that's what this place is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you walk in here and you see everyone that works here. Okay, they're family. Okay. Yeah. And it's a well-run, well-oiled machine because they know they can think for everybody. They know where everybody's going. Okay. And they all smile. No one's in a bad mood at Vito's.
Great people. Ono, thanks for having us in, too, really.
Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
You've been so welcoming to me and Bill and Anthony, so we appreciate it, and hopefully you'll have us back, because we'd love to come back.
I'll be here.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming out today.
Thank you.
The podcast is Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. You can find us on episodes on YouTube. Please subscribe.
Yes.
We've got a lot of subscriptions of people subscribing over the last couple of weeks. We'd love for you to subscribe, like, comment if you like, especially subscribe. I'll say it again. And we'll be back with another show with the guest that I mentioned, Bill Korn, on the next episode of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. Thanks for coming out to Vito's.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Guys, thanks. That was so awesome. That was fun. Glad you were here, son.
Hey, boy! Come here.
Hey, stay. You guys have a pizza up there.
I look over and I see.
Go up and ask them for your pizza.